press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello children. Subject Social Science. Topic Prehistoric Society. The new lesson Prehistoric Society, class 6th. Okay. In this lesson we study about to understand the role of script or writings in the classification of history. Understood? In this lesson we study about the role of script or writings in the classification of history and to the different stages of evolution on earth, different stages of Stone Age and important locations, the role of metals in the growth of civilization. In this class we study about these aspects. Okay. In this lesson is very interesting. If you read this lesson, understand this lesson like a story, it will be very easy. You may hear story from your parents or grandparents, like story of a king, how he was living, how was his palace, what was they using, how was they taking food like that. Understood? If you understand this lesson, it will be very easy. Okay, here we are learning about the differences between the historic period and prehistoric period. Differences between historic period and prehistoric period. Prehistoric period. Okay. Now we study about differences between historic period and prehistoric period. Okay. In history we talk about historic, and in this class we talk about historic and prehistoric period. Understood? What is prehistoric period? What is the meaning of that? What is prehistoric period? Prehistoric period is a period where there are no records, no documents or any things were not available here. Understood? What is the meaning of prehistoric period? It means here is period where there no documents, no records or no documents, or anything were not available here. Understood? For complete information. Understood? Once again, what is the meaning of or what is prehistoric period? It means what? Prehistoric period is a period where there are no records, no documents or anything were not available for the complete information or for the complete picture. Understood? Here we see study of the systematic study was not possible. Prehistoric period, here systematic study was not possible. There were no proper documents. Or evidences. So, in the first lesson, only we learned that history needs proper documents. Understood? History needs proper documents, writings, monuments, etc. to have a clear picture of the history. So, prehistoric period, there were no, simple, prehistoric period, there were no records, documents, such records, so it is called as prehistoric period. What is the meaning of that? So, prehistoric period, there were no records. So, it is called as prehistoric period. The period in which no records of writings is found is often considered as prehistoric period. Understood, children? For example, Stone Age. Stone Age. Example, Stone Age. See here, once again, prehistoric period, there were no such records, so it is called as prehistoric period. Understood? The period in which no records of writings found here is often considered as prehistoric period. For example, Stone Age. Okay. Then the historic period means historian got some of the clear evidences. Understood? What is the meaning of what is the historic period? In the historic period means historian got some of the clear-cut evidences and information about the history. So, it is called as historic period. Understood? What is historic period? Means historian got some of the clear-cut evidences and information about the history. So, it is called as historic period. Okay. So, it is called as historic period. Many writing records were available here. Many writings records are available here. Okay. In this lesson, now let us see what is the content of the lesson or what you are going to learn in this lesson. See, firstly, you will learn about the difference between the historic and the prehistoric period. Next, origin of the earth. Now we study about origin of the earth. It means ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಆರಂಭಿಕ ಸಮಾಜ, ಪ್ರೀಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್, ಇಸ್ಂಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನ 3 ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾಲಗಳಾಗಿ ವರ್ಗೀಕರಿಸಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ವಿಂಗಡಿಸಬಹುದು. ಅವುಗಳೆಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಗೈತಿಹಾಸಿಕ ಕಾಲ, ಪೂರ್ವಭಾವಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ, ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ. ಮಾನವರ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಗೈತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲವೇ 99.9% ಕಾಲಾವಧಿಯನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ 3 ಭಾಗಗಳಾಗಿ ವಿಂಗಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಪ್ರಾಗೈತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ, ಪ್ರೀ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್, ಪೂರ್ವಭಾವಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ, ಪ್ರೋಟೋ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್, ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ, ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ಮಾನವರ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಗೈತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲವೇ 99.9% ಕಾಲಾವಧಿಯನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರೀ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಮಾನವನ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು 99.9% ಕಾಲಾವಧಿಯನ್ನು ಅದು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಆ ಕಾಲದ ಕುರಿತು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಲು ಇರುವ ಆಧಾರಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಗೈತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೀ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಸ್ಥಳವು ಆ ಕಾಲದ ಕುರಿತು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಇರುವ ಆಧಾರಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಆ ಕಾಲದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಸಿಗುವಂತಹ ಆಧಾರಗಳು ತುಂಬನೇ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇವೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಗೈತಿಹಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಸ್ಥಳಾವಕಾಶವು ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬನೇ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಮೇಲಿನ 3 ಕಾಲಗಳನ್ನು ವರ್ಗೀಕರಿಸಲು ಬಳಸುವ ಮಾನದಂಡವೇ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಜ್ಞಾನವಿದೆ. ಅಕ್ಷರ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ 3 ಕಾಲಗಳನ್ನು ವರ್ಗೀಕರಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಅಕ್ಷರ ಪರಿಚಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟವನ್ನು, ಅಂದರೆ ಅನಕ್ಷರಸ್ಥರು, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅಕ್ಷರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಕ್ಷರ ಪರಿಚಯವೇ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾಗೈತಿಹಾಸಿಕ ಕಾಲ, ಪ್ರೀ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್, ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯಲಾಗುವುದು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಶಿಲಾಯುಗಗಳು, ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಏಜ್. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಕಾಲದ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವೊಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಷರಗಳ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಇದ್ದು ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಇಂದು ಓದಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗಿಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೆ ಆ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟವನ್ನು ಪೂರ್ವಭಾವಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯಲಾಗುವುದು. ಪ್ರೋಟೋ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇದೆ, ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಬರೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ಲಿಪಿ, ಅವರ ಬರೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದರ ಜ್ಞಾನ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಅದನ್ನು ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗದೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಕಾಲವನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಪ್ರೋಟೋ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್, ಪೂರ್ವಭಾವಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹರಪ್ಪ ನಾಗರಿಕತೆ, ಹರಪ್ಪ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೊಹೆಂಜೊದಾರೋ ನಾಗರಿಕತೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಾಗರಿಕತೆಯ ಕಾಲ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. ಯಾವ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಪರಿಚಯವಿರುವುದು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಷರದ ಪರಿಚಯವಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಅಕ್ಷರಗಳನ್ನು ಇಂದು ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಓದಲಾಗುವುದು, ಆ ಕಾಲವನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ಪ್ರೀ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್, ಪ್ರೋಟೋ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಂತ 3 ವರ್ಗಗಳಾಗಿ ನಾವು ವಿಂಗಡಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? Once again, okay, in this lesson we study about origin of the earth, how the earth originated. Understood? How the earth originated means how the living beings started, how the living beings started living or how they evolved the earth. Living beings, how they evolved on the earth. Evolving means what? Slow development of the living beings or living organisms. Understood? And next we study about this is explained in this chapter. Understood? Now changes appeared led to different stages. Understood? Changes appeared led to different stages. For example, society is not stagnant. Understood? Society is not stagnant. It is dynamic. It will be go on changing from time to time. Our society, it will be go on changing from time to time. Okay? The times during our grandmothers time, they were using what they were thinking quite different from today's generation, isn't it? We think the times during our grandmothers time they were using what they were thinking quite different from today's generation, isn't it? It changes from generation to generations. It changes from generation to generation. That changes how man come across. In history, we study about that. Understood? How the different stages emerge depending on the civilization and development. Understood? How the different stages merged depending on the civilization and development, and the ages and the stages have been divided. There are 3 different stages. There are 4 different stages here. Prehistoric period, in prehistoric period, Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age, Neolithic age and Iron age. Understood? Important message of you getting this role of the script or writing in history. We study about the role of the script or writings in history. Okay, what is role of script or writings in history? To understand history, different stage of history, we need evidence. And next, what were the evaluation of, how was the process of evaluation on the earth? Okay, we human beings evolved single celled of animals to human being from right to now this present period, how the man underwent many stages. Okay, how the man went many stages, how the organisms and some evolved one by one depending on the environmental changes. Okay, different stage of Stone Age and locations where historians, where did they found the Stone Age people, where they were living, the Stone Age people where they were living, what were they using, and role of metals in the growth of civilization. So, how the metals contributed for the growth of the society, industries or development. Understood? So, you are going to learn all these aspects in this lesson. I told you history is divided into 3 major periods. Here, prehistoric, proto-historic, another one is proto-historic. History is divided into three major periods. Prehistoric period, okay, prehistoric period, and then proto-historic third one is history. Okay, see here, the history divided into 3 major periods: prehistoric period, proto-historic period, and then history. Understood? In between history and prehistoric period, there has been one more period, that is proto-historic period. Understood? Now I will explain you one by one prehistoric period. First one is prehistoric period. Pragaitihasa Kala. Okay. So here evidence were not abundant. Understood? Evidence are not abundant, are not sufficient. Sometimes it was not at all available. Here no records, no documents, no writings. Understood? Here evidences were not found. Evidences were not abundant, not sufficient, or sometimes it was not at all available. In which period? Prehistoric period. Understood? There were no records. For example, Stone Age. Stone Age is very good example for the prehistoric period, where people did not know writing, and we see many of the things were not known. Understood? In prehistoric period, no documents, no writings, not sufficient. Sometimes it was not at all available in prehistoric period. Stone Age is very good example where people did not know writing. We see here many of the things were not known. Okay. Next, what is the meaning of proto-historic period? Proto-historic means what? We got the records. Here we got the records. In proto-historic period we got the records, but what happened? But we got the records and writings. Some of writings were found here, but the next generation people who wanted to know about the age were not understand. A very good example is Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilizations. Proto-historic means what? ಪೂರ್ವಭಾವಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ. ಈ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಲಿಖಿತ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ, ಆದರೆ ಇವಾಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆವಾಗಿನ ಕಾಲದ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರು ಬರೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಓದಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ನಮಗೆ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? We got the records in proto-historic period and writings. Some of writings were found here, but the next generation people who wanted to know about the age were not understand. A very good example is Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilizations. Okay, but people got some evidences, but they were not able to understand. Here we got some evidences, but they were not able to understand. Okay, because the writings of the Mohenjo-daro and Harappan civilization people, nobody could understand. When we come to historic period, now we study about historic period. Historic period, the records are very distinct. The records are very distinct, clear, and it is understood by the people. Here the records are very clear. The records are very clear or distinct. Okay, and it is understood by the people and historians. So it is called as historic period. Once again, see here, what is the meaning of proto-historic period? Proto-historic period. It means what? We got the records. And writings but we did not understood, but we didn't understand these. Writings found here, writings were found here, but what happened? Were not understand. For example, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization. Understood? Next, here we see people got some evidences, but they were not able to understand. People were not understand were not able to understand. Okay, in which period? Proto-historic period. Okay, it means Purvabhavi Itihasa Kala. We need definite, clear-cut information in history. Now we study about historic period. The records are very distinct, are very clear. It is understood by the people and historians. So it is called as historic period. To call a period historic period, we need definite, clear-cut information. We need definite, clear-cut informations of the monuments, writings, records, etc. Okay. Once again, prehistoric period, evidence not abundant, no records. For example, Stone Age. Prohistoric period had records of writings but not understand, isn't it? For example, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization. Understood? History, definite, clear writing, come to conclusion. Understood? Came to conclusion. Understood, children? Andre ಯಾವ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಪರಿಚಯವಿರುವುದೋ ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಅಕ್ಷರಗಳನ್ನು ಇಂದು ಓದಲಾಗುವುದು ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕಾಲ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, see, there is a table in your textbook. Okay, there is a table in your textbook. Children, you make the table about how many millions years ago the single-celled animals are evolution of the earth. Evolution of the earth. When it was started, side by side, you will learn about the year. Okay, how the organisms evolved on the earth. How the organisms evolved on the earth. What sorts of plants they were emerged. See, that if you have a table prepare or table, keep it in your study room. Every day if you look at that, you will come to, now it is I just give you, okay, one or two sentences about the origination of the earth or evolution of the earth. Okay, it is said that earth originated 4,600 million years ago. The earth originated 4,600 million years ago. Okay, could not children, long back earth was originated. Then when the earth originated single-celled, the earth originated only single-celled, ekakosha jeevigalinda. When the earth originated single-celled, bacteria was existing, are able to exist. Single-celled animal or bacteria was able to live without oxygen. Single-celled animal or bacteria was able to live without oxygen. Without oxygen, this single-celled animal were depending on the environment. Understood? Then after few years, lichen and algae plants appear. Single-celled animals appear or were seen. Now we study about origin of human beings and development. Understood? Scientists say that the earth was born. The earth was born 4,600 million years ago. Okay, the first living beings appeared on this planet was single-celled bacteria. Single-celled bacteria called prokaryotes. These bacteria were capable of living in the absence of oxygen. These bacteria were capable of living in the absence of oxygen. Understood? It means single-celled animals or bacteria was able to live without oxygen. They used to get necessary energy and nutrients from the environment. Then some 4,000 to 2,500 million years ago, lichen or algae were seen. These in the future become the source of evolution of plants and animals. Okay, if we consider, it means ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವಿವಾಗ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಮಾನವನ ಉಗಮ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ. ಮಾನವನ ಉಗಮ ಹೇಗೆ ಆಯಿತು, ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಮಾನವನ ಉಗಮ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಭೂಮಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತು, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಹೀಗೆ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ನಾವು ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಇವಾಗ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋಣ. ಭೂಮಿಯು 4,600 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿತು. ಅಂದರೆ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಉಗಮ ಯಾವಾಗಾಯಿತು? 4,600 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಆಯಿತು ಎಂದು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಣಿಸಿಕೊಂಡ ಮೊದಲ ಜೀವಿಗಳೆಂದರೆ ಏಕಕೋಶ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ. ಏಕಕೋಶ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾಗಳಾದ ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟ್ ಗಳು ಇವು ಆಮ್ಲಜನಕ ಇಲ್ಲದ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕಬಲ್ಲುವಂತಹ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಅವುಗಳಿಗೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಬದುಕಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ವಿಥೌಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲೀವ್. ಇವು ಆಮ್ಲಜನಕ ಇಲ್ಲದ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕುವ ಜೀವಿಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದವು. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಪೌಷ್ಟಿಕಾಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಅವರು ಹೇಗೆ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು? ಅವರು ಪರಿಸರದಿಂದ, ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ತಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಪೌಷ್ಟಿಕಾಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪರಿಸರದಿಂದ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ವು. ನಂತರ ಸುಮಾರು 4000ರಿಂದ 2500 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಶೈವಲ ಅಥವಾ ಆಲ್ಗೆಗಳು, ಲಿಚೆನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆಲ್ಗೆಗಳು ಕಾಣಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತವೆ. ಇವು ಮುಂದೆ ಸಸ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ಜೀವಿಗಳ ವಿಕಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. If we consider the world of living beings, fossil evidences of microorganisms as old as 3,500 million years have been traced in Australia. Fossil evidences of microorganisms as old as 2,000 million years were found in Sandur Taluk in Karnataka. Understood? In this road to evolution 570 million years ago, fishes and other aquatic living beings, 438 to 408 billion years ago, insects appeared on the earth. And then 408 to 360 years ago, amphibians. Amphibians means ಉಭಯವಾಸಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Approximately 320 million years ago, reptiles, ಸರೀಸೃಪಗಳು. 248 million years ago, dinosaurs. 213 million years ago, birds and mammals. 65 million years ago, huge mammals, and 25 million years ago, apes got evolved. 5 million years ago, bipeds, and 1.8 million years ago, human beings got evolved. Okay. Here we see in this process of evolution, first single-celled organisms, then fishes, plants, insects, amphibians, flying insects, reptiles, birds, mammals, flower-bearing plants, grass, apes, and bipeds got evolved. Some 1.8 million years ago, evolution of human being took place. Okay, human beings whose physical features were similar to modern man first appeared in Africa. It is believed that from there they migrated to various parts of the globe and settled there. At present, this theory is subjected to lot of criticism. See here, then after few years, lichen and algae plants appear, single-celled animals appear or were seen. Okay. Now, stage by stage, animals also began evolving on the earth. Step by step, animals also began evolving on the earth. Next, fishes, aquatic animals. Aquatic animals means what? It means animals which live in water. Aquatic animals means what? Animals which live in water is called aquatic animals. Or then insects appeared. Then the amphibians. Amphibians means what? It means animals which can live both on land and water, are called amphibians. Understood? Amphibians means ubhaya jeevigalu. Both they can live on land and water. Frog is a very good example for amphibians. Okay. Dinosaurs also appeared during this period. Then human being appeared. Understood? See, step by step, the organisms changed depending on the environment. When the environment changed, the organisms, plants also changed. When the environment changed, the organisms, plants also changed. It is said that the man evolved on the earth about 1.8 million years ago. Understood? The man evolved on the earth about only 1.8 million years ago. See, it is said that some people are opinion that first human being appeared in Africa. Some human beings appeared in Africa, and then they were multiplied in number and they migrated to different places of the world, the different parts of the world. Okay. There is no proper opinion, or still this there is differences of opinion. Nobody is fully agreeing with the but there is a statement that it have happened is a story. There no clear cut fact about this. Still there is argument about the origin of man. Okay, live in Australia, they migrated like that. Understood? Now after learning about the evolution of the plants and evolution of the plants and from the bacteria to the human beings, we have learned, isn't it? We already learned the evolution of the plants and from the bacteria to the human beings, isn't it? Now let us go to the first stage, Paleolithic age. Okay. ಅಂದರೆ ಜೀವಿಗಳ ಪ್ರಪಂಚಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ 3500 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಜೀವಕಣಗಳು ಪಳೆಯುಳಿಕೆಗಳು ಆಸ್ಟ್ರೇಲಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಪತ್ತೆಯಾಗಿವೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಸಂಡೂರು ತಾಲೂಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಧಾರವಾಡದ ಜಲಜ ಶಿಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 2000 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಗೂ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮಾಣು ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮಾಣುಗಳ ಪಳೆಯುಳಿಕೆಗಳು ಕಂಡುಬಂದಿವೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಆರಂಭವಾದ ಜೀವ ವಿಕಾಸದ ಹಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 570 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮೀನು ಮತ್ತಿತರ ಜಲಚರಗಳು, 438 ರಿಂದ 408 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಕೀಟಗಳು ಇರಬಹುದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಉಭಯವಾಸಿಗಳು, ನಂತರ ಸರೀಸೃಪಗಳು, ನಂತರ ನಾವು ಡೈನೋಸಾರ್ಸ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು, ಸಸ್ತನಿಗಳು, 65 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬೃಹತ್ ಸಸ್ತನಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು 25 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ವಾನರಗಳ ವಿಕಾಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಕಾಸ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. 5 ದಶಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ದ್ವಿಪಾದಿಗಳು, 18 ಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾನವನ ವಿಕಾಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಆರಂಭವಾದ ಜೀವ ವಿಕಾಸದ ಹಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲು ಕಾಣಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಏಕಕೋಶ ಜೀವಿಗಳು, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್. ಭೂಮಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸಿಕೊಂಡ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಯಾವುದು? ಏಕಕೋಶ ಜೀವಿಗಳು, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್. ನಂತರ ಮೃದ್ವಂಗಿಗಳು, ಮೀನು, ಸಸ್ಯ, ಕೀಟಗಳು, ಉಭಯವಾಸಿ, ರೆಕ್ಕೆಯುಳ್ಳಂಥ ಕೀಟ, ಸರೀಸೃಪ ಇರಬಹುದು. ನಂತರ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು, ಸಸ್ತನಿಗಳು, ಹೂ ಬಿಡುವ ಸಸ್ಯ, ಹುಲ್ಲು, ವಾನರ, ದ್ವಿಪಾದಿಗಳ ವಿಕಾಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸುಮಾರು 18 ಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾನವನ ವಿಕಾಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಧುನಿಕ ಮಾನವರ ದೈಹಿಕ ರಚನೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದ ಮಾನವರು ಮೊದಲು ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಕಾಣಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದಿಂದ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ವಿವಿಧ ಭೂಭಾಗಗಳಿಗೆ ವಲಸೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿದರೆಂದು ಹೇಳಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಈ ವಾದವು ಇಂದು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವಿಮರ್ಶೆಗೆ ಒಳಗಾಗಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್.